There's a new documentary dealing the life and times of Basketball Hall of Famer Bill Walton, recently debuted on ESPN, called Luckiest Guy in the World. It dives into the long, strange trip of the former UCLA star. Now, Jaime Maggio had a chance to speak with the filmmaker Steve James about the four-part series and how he came up with the title.
How did you come up with the title, The Luckiest Guy in the World?
It was the easiest title I've ever come up with. It's something he says all the time.
I vote in every election. I express my feelings. I'm an engaged citizen. I'm part of a team. What is more mainstream than that?
The title is meant to have multiple meanings here. It's his mantra. It's what he says all the time. It's funny that he says it all the time. But he is clearly, by any objective standard, not the luckiest guy in the world. He's had, terrible career injuries, a very promising career that was cut way short due to injuries, and he's had other travails. So, he's not the luckiest guy in the world, but he has come to believe he is.
Did you get any sense that there was any sense of regret for anything that he'd done over the course of his lifetime?
Bill's the kind of guy that says he has lots of regrets. He regrets some of the ways in which he treated John Wooden, for example, his clashes with John Wooden, because once he got to the pros, he realized how good he had it at UCLA.
What is it about Bill's story that you were drawn to?
I think it's because Bill has had such a crazy life, really. I mean, he starts out as this kid from San Diego, which was not a basketball hub, goes to UCLA and becomes arguably the greatest college player ever, and then gets to the pros, and he's supposed to be the franchise player for the Portland Trailblazers, and suddenly he's hurt all the time, and things really spiral downward for him. The fans get upset with him. The media gets upset with him.
They would blame it on the length of my hair. They would blame it on who I voted for.
And it just seems like, is Bill ever going to be able to play basketball again? And then lo and behold, they win the championship in 76, 77. They're on their way to winning it again when he gets hurt. And so, he's a guy that's seen the highest of highs, lowest of lows. And, he was a very quiet, withdrawn, outspoken person, but quiet and withdrawn due to his stutter and other things as a young man. And look at him now. As his friends say, he didn't talk for the first half of his life, and he hasn't stopped since.
Now, that is for sure. That's the absolute truth. Bill Walton has an amazing basketball career just at UCLA. And then in the NBA, one of the smartest individuals I've ever met.
His broadcasts, if you're watching college basketball and he's on color, usually with Dave Pasch or something like that, yeah, he can drive you nuts a little bit. He'll talk a little too much, but I tell you what, he is a wealth of knowledge. You can tell he's well-read. He likes to speak with everyone. Every time I see him down at the UCLA games, a very gregarious person, wants to say hello to everyone, know your name. Very intentional is Bill Walton.
From Helix High School and down in San Diego, he's a gift. He's a gift to not only basketball, but to sports. But it's amazing. I remember the story. Coach John Wooden was ultra conservative.
Yes.
And Coach Wooden wanted Bill Walton to, cut his hair.
Sure.
Cut it down. And Bill said, Coach, I'm not going to do that. Coach Wooden looked at him and said, well, Bill, it was nice having you on our basketball team. End of story.
Yeah, there's the exit to the gym there. I could see how John Wooden won so much and had an element where, I wouldn't say his way or the highway, but when you know how to win, no one's really going to tell you otherwise. And I think times have changed. I think a lot of coaches that are really, really good let a little more personality of their players come out. But back then, clearly John Wooden had a good recipe.